Tesla knows it isn't safe. Tesla must be held accountable.
Like a Model S and Model X at this point can drive autonomously with greater safety than a person right now.
Hi everyone, JJ here. Welcome back. Well, a massive story for today. Let's see some headlines and then we'll get deeper into it. This is the Wall Street Journal. Jury says Tesla must pay $243 million over fatal autopilot crash. This was from a few years ago. These things take a while to get through the courts. The automaker is found partly liable over its driver assistance software in a deadly 2019 collision. And AP has this headline, and this is the scene outside the court. Jury orders Tesla to pay more than $240 million in autopilot crash case. And we did talk about this on the live stream that I did Friday afternoon, Friday evening, US time. So the New York Times says jury says Tesla was partly to blame for the fatal crash. Lawyers for the family of a woman struck and killed by a Tesla sedan in 2019, it was a Model S, argued that the company's autopilot software should have avoided the crash. And there's part of the crash scene. It was a fatal accident. And here we have on Medium, I thought this post was interesting. Puffery has consequences. Tesla's autopilot on jury trial. So this is in reference to the corporate puffery. In previous court cases, Tesla's argued that what Elon has said is just corporate puffery, and really nobody should believe some of the things that he says. And even today, he's saying things like this: Teslas can drive themselves. And that's quoting a Tesla North America post on X. Once you try it will be hard to go back. And then somebody says here, when can I do this though? Which is at the moment a very dangerous thing to do. And Elon says probably 3 to 6 months depending on regulatory approval in your city and state. Okay, so that's what Elon's still saying, still coming out with Teslas can drive themselves. Let's dig into this electric story because they have some quotes from the lawyers here that have contacted them directly. This is a significant blow to Tesla, although it's likely to be appealed. And we do have to understand that they are going to appeal. Elon's already said that they will. He said that on X when this story broke. So we'll have to see what happens in the appeal. They'll probably take as long as they can. They really want to get FSD robotaxis going and very safe before any of this kind of thing comes through. And the court cases probably stack up now that this one's gone through. So the jury has returned its verdict, finding Tesla partially liable, 33% liable. So not all Tesla's fault. The driver here, you might remember me talking about it, dropped his phone, bent down to pick it up, and that's when the crash occurred. So some driver responsibility, some Teslas they have found. And they've awarded plaintiffs $129 million in compensatory damages and $200 million in punitive damages. An attorney for the plaintiff's case commented on the results. Tesla designed autopilot only for controlled access highways, yet deliberately chose not to restrict drivers from using it elsewhere, alongside Elon Musk telling the world autopilot drove better than humans. And we do have him on video saying that. I think it was way back as 2016, saying a Model S can drive better than a human.
Like a Model S and Model X at this point can drive autonomously with greater safety than a person right now.
Tesla's lies turned our roads into test tracks for their fundamentally flawed technology, putting everyday Americans like Nabal Benavides and Dylan Angulo in harm's way. So these were the people involved in this accident. By the way, if you're getting value out of this episode so far, do remember to hit that like button to help the algorithm to spread it to more people. It really does help. Thanks. Today's verdict represents justice for Nabal's tragic death and Dylan's lifelong injuries, holding Tesla and Musk accountable for propping up the company's $1 trillion valuation with self-driving hype at the expense of human lives. So there's more quotes here. This is from the driver. Considering the driver admitted to not paying attention, one might think that it would be an easy case However, McGee's comments led to Tesla's demise in this case. This is what the driver said about Autopilot. My concept was it would assist me should I have a failure or should I miss something, should I make a mistake, that the car would be able to help me. In this case, I do feel like it failed me. And there's an update from Tesla's lawyers here after the case contacting Electric. They said today's verdict is wrong and only works to set back automotive safety and jeopardize Tesla's and the entire industry's efforts to develop and implement life-saving technology. We plan to appeal given the substantial errors of law and irregularities at trial. Even though this jury found that the driver was overwhelmingly responsible for the tragic accident in 2019, the evidence has always shown that this driver was solely at fault because he was speeding and his foot on the accelerator, which overrode autopilot, and he rummaged for his dropped phone without his eyes on the road. To be clear, no car in 2019 and none today would have prevented this crash. This was never about autopilot. It was a fiction concocted by plaintiff's lawyers blaming the car when the driver from day one admitted and accepted responsibility. So that's going to be obviously when they appeal. This will be part of their case that they'll be arguing again. This Medium post says something interesting about this. Musk himself kept boasting about autopilot for years, long before FSD became remotely a real thing, further blurring the distinction between FSD and autopilot. Only 2 years ago, it emerged that a promotional autopilot video from 2016 praised by Elon Musk as Tesla can drive itself, which is what he's saying again today, was carefully choreographed. It was videos like that that gave drivers the overconfidence and consistently muddled the capabilities of FSD and their driver assistance software. He says right at the end here, with AI-based technology controlling more and more of people's lives and bigger promises being made, the trial may move a small step towards more accountability. However, it seems doubtful that tech companies will become more humble. A judge once described Tesla's overpromising as puffery, not fraud, in terms of what the capabilities are. It seems puffery can have consequences too. So this is the first case where they've taken into account what Elon said and that people are going to be convinced by it. And here we have a reaction from longtime critic Dan O'Dowd, who says Liable should still be alive. Tesla Autopilot killed her because it was engaged on a road that Tesla knew it wasn't safe on. Now, this is a video about what he says here. Let's take a look at it.
Tesla dances away from liability in autopilot crashes by pointing to a note buried deep in the owner's manual that says, "Autopilot is only safe on freeways." So the feds demanded autopilot be restricted to freeways. Shockingly, Tesla refused. This caused many tragic accidents when autopilot was enabled on roads where Tesla knows it isn't safe. Tesla must be held accountable. Tesla must be held accountable.
That was the accident in the trial. And Dan also says FSD supervised doesn't drive recklessly. The disgusting lies that official Tesla account publishes to mislead safety-conscious consumers about buying this dangerous and defective full self-driving software are despicable. How would you describe this behavior? And this is quoting the Tesla account here. It says FSD supervised does not drive under the influence, is never tired, and doesn't drive recklessly. And he puts up this video showing some of the errors that have happened under FSD.
This is the on-ramp. I got disengaged already. Look at this. Jeez Louise.
It says, oh, look at you. Oh, look at you breaking the law.
Respond. It's gonna. Interesting if they went to 48 volt.
But it turns into the train lane, right? Is it called train lane? Yeah.
Holy shit,
went through the fucking train.
Train tracks. So there's a compilation of clips that I've shown on here quite a few times in the past few months of the errors that FSD is still making. Let me know what you think about this in the comments. Do you think this is fair, what's happened in the trial? Of course, it is going to be appealed. Some of these things usually get knocked back. We'll have to see what happens. But this is the first time, really, that the court in a jury trial, not a judge or an activist judge, as a lot of Tesla investors, Tesla evangelicals say, whenever a decision goes against Tesla. So what do you think? Let me know in the comments. And I'm going to put a related video right there. Do go and see that now if you want to. And also a subscribe link. Do subscribe if you want to see more of these, and hit the notification bell to get notified of the videos. Thanks for watching this one, and I'll see you in the next one.